Just because they can give you a nut doesn't mean that you should be with them. You're trying so hard not to make the same mistake, but the same mistake is still presenting itself in a different way over here, but you're so focused on it not being exactly like that you're still making the mistake in the end. Being single has now been equated with being unwanted.
No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours. Thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing, no such thing.
Jumbo everyone, welcome or welcome back, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about an I'm the hater because I'm single, and then also talking about decentering men for 2025 or just the rest of our lives. So without further ado, let's get started. So the main reason why I wanted to make this video is because I have been reflecting, as we all have, because it is now December and almost the new year. I've been reflecting on people that I've talked to, people that I've went on dates with, and I'm just like, these men ain't shit. I only say that just because I thought I had standards, and then when I get in front of these men and then they really test me out, bitch, stand the fuck up. Stand up. Like, what are we doing? And that's really what I had to be honest with myself about, is because it's like, you are thinking about these men and they couldn't give a fuck about you. And that is why we need to decenter men. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Delete the dating apps. Delete it. You don't need it. If you keep coming to your friends talking about horror story after horror story that you've had on these dating apps, what makes you think that you're gonna find your future husband on there? No, I wanna know. Like, tell me. It's not worth it. We know people's main intentions when it comes to dating apps, especially men. And more importantly, they hide all the cute people behind paywalls. How am I supposed to interact with a man on Hinge, a cute man at that, when y'all expect me to send him a rose? Please. I have said multiple times, my last Hinge dating story, that made me delete the app and never want to download it again. I am done with dating apps just because it's almost like, hey, how y'all doing? Like, I'm here, I'm ready to date. But like, for me, I want to meet someone organically. Like, I have tried the dating apps. I want to meet someone organically. And the experiences that I've had on these dating apps, nobody is trying to have the initiative of reaching out and actually starting a relationship or actually starting something. Let's be real. Especially when it comes to Hinge, you match with someone, they have so many other matches. Unless you are just like this absolute perfect goddess to them, they're not going to text back. And that's where it's also, we see a lot of these men in their feminine era. And why would I care about you or even look that way if you want to be feminine? I've said this so many times that like men these days want to be feminine. They want women to go 50-50 and all this other stuff. And I know we're tired of having these conversations, but sometimes we need to keep having the conversations to finally be able to shut the fuck up and to come to a consensus. All right. I'm not talking about the people who are in healthy relationships, long-term healthy relationships, or people that have even met their lovers on dating apps. I'm not talking about you. So if it's not about you, why are you taking it personally? Just saying. So that's what I mean, especially when it comes to making this video. I'm not talking about people who have been with their partners for over a year or over 2 years and they're in a healthy relationship. This video is not for you. I'm talking about all my single girlies that focus so heavily on being in relationships that they tend to attract people that they don't even want, really. They're just settling to be with them. And why are we settling? Why? I get it. As women, it is our natural instinct to be in a relationship, to want to be a mom. Not for everybody, but you know, for majority of women, want to be a mom. It's like some type of maternal instinct where we think that if we don't get married, don't have kids, and whatever, like that right there is supposed to be our whole life. If we don't do that, we have failed as a society and we should just never reproduce or whatever. What I say to that is we need to have more goals as women than just being in a relationship. Like, come on. I'm shaking you when I say this because I know that you have more goals and aspirations than just being in a relationship. Stand up. Like I've said, this is what ultimately led to me being abstinent, and I know it's like a broken fucking record that I keep saying over and over and over again. But y'all don't understand, at least from a spiritual background and, you know, knowledge of what I know in vibrations and energy and sexual energy transfers, all that stuff. I'm saying this is because when you take sex off the table, when you close your legs and get to know the person for who they actually are, instead of putting that sexual desire and lust and all that stuff in there, that is when you're actually able to see the person for who they actually are, and that will allow you to see if you actually want to be in a relationship with this person long term. Just because they can give you a nut doesn't mean that you should be with them. I feel like we've learned so much over at least just this course of a year, and hopefully, I really hope Trump is not president, but it's looking like he might be. With Project 2025 being a very real thing, we need to decenter these men. Going into 2025, your top priority or just goal in a sense should not be getting a boyfriend. If it is, you really need to reevaluate your life, because why are you so focused and obsessed with getting a boyfriend that you would rather just push all your goals to the side and focus on that instead? Does that make any sense? What are you benefiting from only focusing on a man, only focusing on wanting to be in a relationship? What do you benefit from that? I'll wait. That's what I thought. So what do I mean by decentering men? Again, I'm not talking about people who are in healthy relationships, who even just have like healthy standards when it comes to dating. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about the people who know how to be in a healthy relationship or even have worked on themselves to the point where they want to be in a relationship. I'm also not talking about people like me, people who used to want to be in a relationship so bad in the past and stuff like that, but they've realized that that's not everything that it's cracked up to be, and would much rather focus the goals, I would much rather focus the goals that I have in order to actually reach them, rather than putting all that energy and consuming and asking and begging the universe, please, I want a boyfriend, no. I've been single going on 2.5 years now, and that's where I'm like, I kind of like being single. That boyfriend air, the way that men treat you, the things that they can say to you, the stuff that they hold against you, I'm just not willing to put myself through that right now. I'm just saying. I have said so many times that I want to specifically get to a certain part of my career, or even just graduating college first, then getting into a relationship. I know that where I'm at in life and focusing on school, focusing on content, going to the gym, doing this, doing that, that's where I've said so many times, if a man is not making your life easier, why is he there? Why are you the only one making his life easier? And everyone tore me the fuck up in those comments on my why you shouldn't date below your tax bracket, struggle love isn't cute. Everybody came for me being like, you should want to grow with a man, you should do it. I never said that I wouldn't grow with a man. I said that I wasn't going to help a man grow like that if he is not already making the steps that he needs to make to get there. Men who truly want to provide for their woman, who want to truly be the masculine, they know what it takes in order to get a woman like me. Get a woman where her mind is so set on dating someone who actually has goals and aspirations and are actually doing the actions in order to get there. That's me. Men who want to acquire a certain woman know that they have to do certain things in order to be on her level. And we'll talk about that a little bit later for people who are settling, because it's just not worth it, y'all. Come on, please. I never said that men aren't also, victims, I guess, of centering women as well. There are a plethora of men. Plethora, however the fuck you want to say it. There are so many men out there who literally center, I want a girlfriend. And that goes exactly the same for them. We need to stop focusing so much energy on being in relationships and focus on where you want to go in your life, and the people will just come in naturally. And when I say all this, I know you're thinking of that one person from high school that was always in a relationship for some reason, back to back to back. They never allowed themselves to be single. And I know, for me, I like to actually take things and process things over and over and over again. I'm just an overthinker. So when something happens, aka a situation that happened with a man or whatever, I will go back at different levels of consciousness and at first be like, well, why the fuck would you do that? And then at the other part of consciousness be like, okay, I see why you did that. Let's keep going deeper and deeper and deeper until we find the root as to why I did that in the first place and why I'm not going to do it again. I think we get so caught up in trying not to make the same mistakes over and over again that we're ignoring the patterns that are mirrored or even masked as those same issues, but we're so focused on how that past mistake looked that we're not looking at the future mistake and how it looks the same, but we're so focused on it not being exactly the same as the last mistake, we're gonna keep making the mistakes over and over and over again. If you get me, you understand where I'm coming from. What I'm basically trying to say is that you're trying so hard not to make the same mistake mistake, but the same mistake is still presenting itself in a different way over here, but you're so focused on it not being exactly like that you're still making the mistake in the end. This also goes to say that this type of infatuation, or even just centering men, always wanting to be in a relationship, always just, never allowing yourself to fully heal, I feel like it goes so much deeper than just not being okay with being alone. These people are okay with being alone in a sense, they just choose not to. They would much rather self-sabotage the future progress of themselves by getting into another relationship that they know is not healthy than actually just take the time to really be by themselves, because there's a difference between being alone and in a relationship versus just being alone and being single. They don't like having that title of being single because being single has now been equated with being unwanted. Why is that? We have single over here, which is equated with being not wanted. Then we have in a relationship as wanted. But when you think about it, a lot of people who are in relationships, they don't even like their partner. They just tolerate them. And this is what I see when people come online and they tell their sob stories about what their partner did to them. Why am I the only one that can see that that person doesn't even like you, let alone love you? So this is why, going back to my title and why I chose to, use my comment from that video, is I'm always team get rid of him, because you can always find something way better out there. Unless you have a top tier man and you're the one taking advantage of him, I don't know about that one. But in the sense of, if he is not giving you what you want or treating you the way that you want, why the fuck would you stay? And this is where people don't like coming and talking to me or asking me about relationship advice, because I'm gonna tell you once, I'm not gonna tell you twice. Like Lotto said, you already know my opinion. You already know what I'm gonna say. People say I'm the mean friend, or I'm just too straight up. I'm too blunt. Baby, I'm gonna tell you what other people aren't gonna tell you. I'm just not the person to smile in your face and be like, it's okay, Buki. Get rid of him. Someone who is causing you this much stress and isn't willing to actually compromise and talk at an emotionally intelligent level in order to resolve the issue. Why are you with them? Because built up resentment is a very real thing. And this even goes back to friendships, where I have told people before, if you do not address the issue with me, you never let me know, you allow that resentment to build up, something that usually would never irritate you now is the one thing that triggers you in order for us to be squabbling back and forth, because you've had all this built up resentment. People have so much built up resentment against their partners instead of just talking to them. Just talk to your partner. And even when you talk to them, y'all need to understand not everybody has the same communication style. And if this person really wants to be in a relationship with you and actually wants to see you grow, they will show you how they can help you grow in that type of way, and vice versa. But to all the people staying in toxic relationships but then complain about it, don't complain anymore, because I know it's hard. I know it's hard to leave a toxic relationship. I know that, especially people in abusive relationships. I'm not talking about you either, so please don't take this personally. But people who purposefully, I'm gonna say that again, people who purposefully put themselves in this type of situation because in a weird way they like when their nervous system is activated like this, because that's the only type of way that they know how to be normal, is being in fight or flight. They've never had a regulated nervous system. So when you see people who are so dysregulated continuously being in relationships, and you sit back and you wonder, why do they do that to themselves? You have to often think, some people like living in fight or flight. They are not okay living in a regulated nervous system, because that's the way that they grew up, constantly on go mode, constantly never knowing when to just chill the fuck out. So that's why I say that this goes deeper than just someone who wants to be alone or someone who is okay with being alone. This is a self-sabotaging almost aspect in a way that I can see, because why would you not allow yourself the proper time to be with yourself and to not make the same mistakes in your past relationship that you're gonna make in your future relationship? Why traumatize another person because you don't want to do the healing? So this also comes with the territory of being the hater friend because you're single. I even said this to my sister back when I was in a relationship, but I didn't understand fully what I was really saying until I got out of the relationship. Oftentimes my sister would tell me things and I'd be like, you're just jealous, you're not in a relationship, you're just jealous. No, bitch, she's trying to look out for you. And that is exactly why I'm saying you will be looked at as the hater friend because you're single. Like I said earlier, being single equals unwanted. Being in a relationship means that somebody picked you. And at the end of the day, that is the root of everything. People just want to get picked. Therefore, people will get into relationships that they're not actually happy with because that person picked them. They're scared that nobody else will be able to tolerate the things that this person has tolerated thus far, which is why you see a lot of people staying in relationships that they shouldn't be in. Codependency is also a very real thing, and that also stems into not wanting to be alone. You can still be in a relationship with someone and be apart, but the constant texting, the constant FaceTimes, and this and that, that and never really having that time to yourself, always having to be around them 24/7, you don't have your own personality, babes. That's all I have to say. There's no personality. Who are you without your partner? And that's where, oh my God, perfect point. A lot of people make being in relationships their personality. You can also say on the other spectrum, being single is another personality, but like being in a relationship, that's where it's like you can talk shit about being single and making that your personality, but you can't really talk shit because it's like at least we're alone with ourselves. At least we're allowing ourselves to know what we want and also not settle just to claim that we're in a relationship. People on this hand, it's like, why? Why are you doing that to yourself? And then coming back and complaining to us single people, but then calling us haters when we tell you how it is. This is why I've said so many times, men are not stupid. They know what they're getting away with. And a lot of the times, everything is a test to see how much they can get away with. This is why from now on, I'm just leaving at the first red flag. I don't have time to entertain people that are going to waste my time. I have said multiple times, if a man is not making your life easier, what is he doing then? What is he doing? Tell me. Exactly. Because women already, being in a relationship with a man alone, women already add that extra aspect of just the nurturing and taking care of them, feeding them, all this other stuff. What do we gain? Nothing. And this is why I keep saying I'm not like sorry, and I say it in the most conceited way possible. One, I have a bald black daddy. Two, he took care of my mom, paid all the bills, and still never wanted to go 50-50. So yes, I'm traditional in that aspect, but it's also in the same sentence, why do y'all want women to do so much for y'all, but at the same point, you can't even reciprocate that same energy back? What the fuck are we talking about? I know he's cute. I know he's cute, but is it really worth ruining your peace over a man who's cute? All the work that you have made thus far, is it really worth it? Is it? Because that is where I just look at the situation where it's like, why do we continue to allow these men to treat us the way that they do and then be surprised? That's my question. Just to basically wrap up this video, why I wanted to make it in the first place is we just need to decenter men, okay? I'm not talking about the people who, you know, aren't actively searching for a relationship, but if they get into one, they meet a mutual, they meet someone that they really vibe with, and that person is, you know, checking off all the boxes. Why the fuck not? Why not? And that's what I'm telling y'all. Why not? But when it comes to women, centering men, having that be their only focus, and then getting mad at their friends for being honest with them, or even just being like, hey, can we talk about something other than men? Like, can we talk about our goals? Can we talk about our aspirations? Like, why are so many people and so many women so male focused? It's giving Pick Misha. If you don't know who Pick Misha is, you should go watch Cecilia Regina. She talks about Pick Misha essentially being the woman who thinks that if she does this, and this, she'll get picked. You're a pick me. Pick Misha. Simple as that.
For a best friend for like the past 5 years. So I said this year that I was going to put more effort in. I met girls at Pilates. I met girls while I was shopping. I even met girls that like were connected through me, like for someone who knew them and like kind of linked up. All of them ghosted me.
Right, so she goes on to say she feels like the reason it's hard to make friends as an adult is after 21, everyone's focused on their own lives. I'm going to give you the real tea. The reason it's hard to make friends, especially as a woman, after a certain point is because too many women are male identified. I met one of my current closest friends like 2 years ago. Not a day goes by that we are not kikiing on the phone and whatnot. And she's pointed this out to me. She's like, the reason we got so close so fast is because we're not male identified. And before you're like, oh, they're lonely single cat women, she has a man. She met her boyfriend while we were being friends. And the reason I knew I'm going to keep this one is there was no change in her behavior. Like, this is a great guy. You know, they have now moved in together and they're, you know, in a very serious relationship. And I mean, she'd be grinning up in his face all day long. But it didn't affect our dynamic. A lot of women will either jettison you to chase after a man, or because they're in toxic relationships, because they're male identified, you have to spend the whole friendship comforting them and going back and forth. Actually, we met and there was originally a third musketeer. We be calling her best friend. Best friend started out in the friend group the same time as the two of us, but she was male identified and she didn't make it more than 3 or 4 months with both of us. I broke it off first because I'm pressing it like that. And then my girl, Pretty Baker, broke it off. But all she ever brought to the friendship group was a bunch of damn drama. All she did was chase men because all of us met at the gym. She was embarrassing in the space, always trying to talk to men. She was a pretty girl, like, lest you think whatever. She was a pretty girl. I think she was a pretty girl. Pretty Baker doesn't think so, but she was the insta baddie type a lot of guys go for, but she was so thirsty and embarrassing, no sane man would want to be around her. She always had, dates. She was always doing crazy stuff, lest you think we're just being mean. One time she was participating in a throuple. The girl was a loon. But the point is, she was draining, and all of her mercy and understanding was for men. All she wanted was, an audience to monologue at about all the male drama in her life and boost her up like she wasn't the problem. And she and I got into it because I was like, maybe you want to take a break from dating. I understand you've had some traumatic experiences, and it might be best to just step back for a while and, be by yourself and just maybe tap into what's motivating this, because she had some genuine life circumstances she was going through. And child, I don't know what I said that for, because homegirl act like I called her everything but a child of God. And she goes to screaming at me right in the middle of the gym. I'm not that kind of girl. I refuse to be embarrassed. So I stepped back from that whole relationship. I was like, you know what, girl, you got it. You go out there. You be awesome. And she and my friend the baker fell out over some, basically the same kind of inconsiderate nonsense. She was just basically trying to make herself the center of attention at everyone else's expense, and she was draining. And truth be told, that's why it's hard to maintain adult friendships, even with women you've known all your life. And I'm not saying this in an, girls college drama kind of way. I'm saying this in a way a lot of women have not unpacked their internalized misogyny. And so they will be in toxic relationships or want to get into toxic dynamics with men. And if you say something, you're the problem. If you say, oh my God, he cheated on you, you should leave him. Or even if there are just smaller, more subtle red flags in the way that the guy treats your friend, and you say something, all of a sudden it turns into a, gendered misogynistic kind of issue. It's like, oh, you're just jealous I have a man. Like, whoa, sis. I'm saying maybe he shouldn't be on Tinder if you're in a relationship. And then the pick-me types, they want to get attention at your expense. So, they'll be the ones to tell men your secrets, try to, embarrass you in front of a group, saying, and, personal things about you, revealing your insecurities. You cannot be friends with that type. And then just societally, women are taught to put their, romantic relationships and personal things above their connections to other women. And that's what I was talking about the other day. I do not believe in that, because women are the ones who are going to be there for you. I don't care if you're married or not. The women who I've seen who have been married with children, when they got older, it was their friends who were taking them to chemo. It was their friends who were caring for them when they were down sick. Their friends brought them meals. Their friends took them to the doctor. Their friends watched their kids. Their husbands weren't doing that. So I'm not saying you have to put your female friends above your husband or whatever, but I'm saying if you're not giving equal consideration and you expect to just take from your friendship and you're never pouring anything in, nobody can be friends with you. So I don't think this woman's the problem. These women probably ghosted her because they were too busy chasing some guy. And that's the other thing. A lot of people, the reason why it's not easy to make friends as an adult woman is there's no enforced time together anymore, like after college. It wasn't that the girls in college were any less male identified. It's that you had a different set of circumstances. If you lived in a dorm, you were living with them. There was time that you would spend together outside of men that was socially enforced. So it's like, okay, you were able to build a closeness. But when you get grown, everybody's living on their own. There's nobody else to enforce the community of women. And it's hard to find non-male identified women, but it's so worth the effort to know that I have friends that care, and, it's not contingent upon whether or not that they're single. I told you all, the baker's always making me cookies, cinnamon rolls. She just brought me homemade brioche the other day. This is all the time. In addition to just her listening to me with all my issues and, just boosting me up when I'm in a down spot in my PhD program, this girl cares what I'm going through. And I try to reciprocate as much as possible. I cook for her. I'm our official driver everywhere, but I don't mind. I mean, we are locked in good. We are sharing a Costco membership, okay? That's my girl. So in short, you can easily make a new female best friend. You just have to make sure she is not male identified. So good luck finding a woman like that.
So I kind of talked about it in my last video, where it's just like the mindset of, if I expect a man to take me on vacations, spend money on me, shower me with love, and be emotionally intelligent, why wouldn't I do all these things for myself? Why wouldn't I take myself on vacations? Why wouldn't I spend money on myself? Why wouldn't I shower myself with love and also raise my emotional intelligence? Why would I lower myself to be with a man? And I just can't wait in a couple of years, when everybody was dogging the fuck out of me for these videos that I'm making, more specifically broke ass fucking men. Y'all are dogging me, but just wait until, in the future, if I am in a relationship, it's going to be a healthy, good relationship, because I made sure to make sure that my standards stayed up here and I didn't go down here for a man. Like, I feel like we be forgetting about like all the rappers and all that stuff that just be buying their baby mama stuff because of their baby mama or because they want to flex on IG. Not saying that everything is for flexing and for social media and all that stuff, but if baby mamas can get that, why wouldn't my husband give that to me? Like, I'm just so sick of people always expecting me to have the same standards as them. We did not grow up the same. And also, we don't have the same life experiences. Therefore, stuff that has happened to me and shaped my mindset didn't happen to you. And that is okay. If you are okay settling down with a man who isn't giving you everything you want, that is on you. But don't come back complaining fucking 12 years from now when, oh, he's drained me of this, I gave him a baby and he doesn't even help. Shut the fuck up. Why would you keep staying in toxic relationships, toxic situations at that, and then being mad at the universe for not blessing you? You are blocking your own motherfucking blessings because you want to be hard-headed and no, he's my man, I can't let him go. You are literally blocking your future life, your dream reality, because you want to be naive and be, no, it's fine. No, it's not. You have to mourn your old life. And I feel like I'm still in the grieving process because I'm like, where am I going? Like, what am I doing with my life right now? And obviously I know what I'm doing with my life. I have a set plan. It's more of getting in, like, obviously seasonal depression, all this other stuff, but it's like, where do I want to go? What expectations do I have for myself within these next 2 years? Seeing the way that people are able to transform their lives. And I'm also going to make my video next week about this, but talking about how much can change in 1 year alone. Why would I focus my energy on a man who is hypothetical and I don't even know and all this other stuff. Or I can focus it on things that I'm passionate about, things that are going to make me money, and things that are ultimately going to raise my vibration, so then I am at the vibration that I expect my partner to be at. We as women, more specifically women who have their shit together, we are vibrating at this high frequency and obviously wanting a man to match it. But like I've said in past videos, men have the utmost, what is it called, benefit in this society. If you are a man, you automatically have the hierarchy, whatever system that is made for you. You can easily make more money. You can easily be, a higher position at your job, or find another position that will allow you to move up in the ranks and do what you want to do with your life. But are they choosing to do that? No. So why would I, as a highly successful woman who is getting 2 degrees, who is going to have a career at the age of 23, going to be doing such crazy things that I can't even imagine because the universe is going to bless me in that way, why would I take all that for a man who isn't even giving me everything that I want? Like, I don't know how many times I have to keep reiterating that to y'all. Stop selling yourself short. It's pissing me off. The person that you are meant to be with is always going to do what they can to show the support in order for you to become the best version, and vice versa. Notice how I keep saying vice versa. That's because I'm not just expecting a man to just pour 100,000% into a woman and a woman doesn't pour anything into him. I am saying this in terms of men need to pour into women in order for women to pour back, because women have always been pouring and pouring and pouring, and now it is seen as if a woman doesn't pour into a man, she doesn't deserve him. I don't want you then. Give me the masculine men. Give me the men that want to lead. Give me the men where I can leave my brain at home and I know that I am safe because my man got me. Not because, oh, they want to be feminine and they want 50-50. Shut the fuck up. I'm sick of that conversation. Quick story time. To the man who came up to me in the gym today and harassed me, because there is a difference when the man is cute and when the man is not that cute. Flirting versus harassment. Why would you come up to me? And this is what I be saying. This is exactly why I be mean mugging niggas in the gym, because I don't want to talk to you. I know the way that you carry yourself in this gym. I know that we are not a match. So y'all want to say, oh, you can be friendly with them. Why? Why would I be kiki with a man when I know exactly what the fuck he wants? Stop trying to come up to me talking about, so when are we going out to lunch? I looked at him and said, nigga, please, and put my fucking headphones back on. You give these men an inch, they take a fucking mile. Just because I say hi to you in the gym does not mean I want to go on a fucking date with you. And also, y'all are the ones that be forcing yourselves to come up to me. You see I'm not in the mood to talk. You see I don't want to talk to you, and yet you still fucking find your way to insert yourself during my workout to interrupt me. Please do better. As conceited as it sounds, I did want to say, you can't afford me. You can't. Because like I said, I'm not lowering myself. I'm not giving ugly niggas a chance anymore. That sounds so conceited. I'm done. You give an ugly nigga a chance, he is going to take that and fucking run and dog your ass and humble you. No. This is why I would rather be single. This is why I'd rather be single. To end off the video, because I've done enough yapping, the right one will come when the alignment is right. When you are taking the steps that you need to take to become your higher self, the person that you always envisioned yourself being, and not fucking around with men who are going to taint that or even stop you from reaching that potential. You can't get mad at the universe for sending you these men when you're not willing to do the work in order to heal, so you can recognize the red flag instead of continuously falling back into the same patterns. And like, what did I say about patterns earlier? You're trying so hard to avoid this pattern that it's just disguising itself in a different way. You're still making the mistake at the end of the day. Learn from it. All I have to say is, can we please decenter men? Can we please work on ourselves? I'm not the hater friend just because I'm single, okay? I'm not the hater just because I'm single. I want you to thrive, Buki, but this is also where sometimes I have had to cut off friendships because of being friends with male-centered women. I've even had one of those friends text me back a year later apologizing for centering that man, and I have to keep my boundaries very firm that I can't be friends with people like that. If you showed your ass that way 1, 2, 3 times in the past and then I didn't say anything, but on the 4th time I'm done with it, I'm done with it for life. You have showed me that you value a man over a woman friendship more. I'm not doing that, and I'm not with it. So for all the people who want to ask me for advice, I'm gonna tell you once, but I'm not gonna tell you twice. Don't come up to me saying Reese is mean, Reese da, because I told you how it is. All right, I know you're going through it. I know it's hard, but I'm just not gonna sugarcoat shit. All right, like I said, I've done enough yapping. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, y'all.